So excuse the lighting, but all I'm going to do is just splatter some of the bleach along the pants. I'm really not having any specific style that I want it. I just want it kind of splattered. If you do want a style, definitely use some rubber bands. I went for a different technique for the other leg. I just made a couple of different pools with the bleach and then just let it sit a bit. So for this one, I'm just letting it sit. I kind of like the way that that came out a little bit better. Also, don't forget to do like the seams and just like a little cool additive for the drawstring. So now all I'm going to do is wash it. I'm going to hand wash it, make sure all the excess is taken out. You could also put it into the washing machine once it's dried. And I'm going to put it in the dryer afterwards. I'm going to use some detergent, make sure all the excess bleach is out. So this is what they came out to look like. I'm pretty happy with it. I think the more that you add, the better it looks, but that's just my opinion. I'm really excited. That's the front, and I can show you the back. So now what I'm going to do is make a two-piece set. I am going to take my pen and mark off where I want my shorts to be. I'm putting them on and make sure I'm tying them the way that I would if I was wearing them. The pockets end right here, which is pretty long, so I'm going to make my shorts even longer than I really want to, just because one, I want them to be rolled up, and two, I want them to also be longer than I need, just in case I want to cut a little bit more. I'm just doing a blunt cut right now, nothing too crazy, and I'm keeping it super simple just because I am going to fold it up anyway, and I definitely measured longer than I needed to. So all I'm going to do after that to make sure that they're symmetrical is fold it over and do the same thing on the other side. I also am kind of doing it at an angle just because that's the way I like my shorts to be. That's what they look like. They're pretty long, and that's fine. I'm just going to take some tape or go through it with my sewing machine and fold these up a little bit because it gives it a little bit more of a finished feel, but it also makes them a little bit more comfy too. So next with the leg, now that I've cut off a couple of the excess, I measured it against my chest and I made sure that it's going to cover my entire chest and into the back a little bit. So I'm going to cut 3 holes, one on the top, the middle, and the bottom. Just going to make slits like that. You can do this with one piece of fabric, but I chose to leave it a little bit thicker and keep both sides of the leg instead of cutting out a rectangle. So the holes are pretty small. I'm able to just stick a finger in it, and you want them small, nothing too big or they'll fall through. And with the other pair, I'm going to cut strips and those are going to be the straps. I'm going to cut them into 3 parts. So they're pretty thick and they're pretty big. You can make them thinner, make them more strappy. Again, I'm not worried about perfection just because they will be in the back, and this is loungewear. It's nothing that I'm going to wear out. I also just like the thicker straps and the doubling of the material, just because if I do want to, wear to sleep or something, I don't want to worry about it coming off. And I want it to be super comfortable. Another thing that you should probably think about is which leg you wanted to be the front. And if you care about the straps in the back, I would probably use the straps. I would probably use the leg that you like least for the straps and the leg that you like most for the front of your top. So now I have 3 pretty thick pieces, and I'm going to tie those into my first leg. Just going to put them through the holes. So I want this to be the front and that to be the back. So I'm putting the tail end through. You can also put it forward, but that just means that this excess material right here is going to stick out in the front, not the back. You could leave it on for an added little ruffle, or you could cut off the excess. This is again why you want the hole to be super small. You also don't want it to stretch out. So I just did the same thing on the other side and tied them through. So now it looks like a bathing suit top. And that's all you're gonna see in the front is like a crop top, like a bandeau.